noticed how insanely proud many Puerto Ricans are about their culture, and especially their flag? They have the Puerto Rican flag on their walls, on their shirts, in their cars, and everything else they can pin it on. They scream their heritage every chance they get. Well, there's a reason for it. What if I told you there was a time when it was illegal to own a Puerto Rican flag or to even speak of Puerto Rican independence? To understand, we need to look at a bit of history. After the United States invaded Puerto Rico in 1898 during the Spanish-American War, some of the island's leaders expected the United States to grant the island its independence. The United States had other ideas. Under the terms of the Treaty of Paris of 1898, ratified on December 10th, the U.S. annexed Puerto Rico. Since then, and especially during that time, many Puerto Ricans yearned for independence and a strong movement was beginning to form. However, the U.S. government had other ideas, and in 1917, they imposed the Jones Act, which mandated U.S. citizenship on anyone on the island born on or after 1899, against the wishes of the entire Puerto Rican House of Delegates, which was the legislature of Puerto Rico at that time. However, this did not stop those favoring independence. In 1922, the Nationalist Party of Puerto Rico was formed, with its primary goal being the independence of Puerto Rico. This party began to grow, and in the 1930s, things became very heated between the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party and representatives of the established colonial government of the U.S. on the island. By 1938, a new political party known as the Popular Democratic Party, PPD, was formed and began to take center stage. This party didn't favor independence, but instead settled for a new political status known as Estado Libre Asociado, or Free Associated State. By the 1940s, the Popular Democratic Party, or PPD, had won almost all legislative posts and mayoral races. They became very powerful, while the Nationalist Party failed to get much electoral support. The PPD, which was against independence for Puerto Rico, feared the influence of the Nationalist Party was a huge problem and an obstacle against their goals. In 1947, the United States Congress approved Law 447, which permitted Puerto Ricans on the island to elect their own governor. Following this U.S. law, a bill was introduced before the PPD-controlled Puerto Rican Senate, which would restrain the rights of the independence and nationalist movements on the island. The bill, also known as the Ley de la Mordaza, or gag law, received the approval of the legislature on May 21, 1948. It made it illegal to display a Puerto Rican flag, to sing a patriotic song, to talk of independence, and to fight for the liberation of the island. It was signed into law on June 10th of 1948 by the U.S. appointed governor of Puerto Rico, Jesus T. Pinera, and became known as Ley 53, or Law 53. Under this new law, it would be a crime to print, publish, sell, or exhibit any material intended to paralyze or destroy the insular government, or to organize any society, group, or assembly of people with a similar destructive intent. Anyone accused and found guilty of disobeying the law could be sentenced to 10 years imprisonment, a fine of $10,000, or both. As a direct and immediate consequence of Law 53, hundreds of sympathizers with the independence movement were imprisoned, as well as members of the Nationalist Party. This led to revolts led by the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party, which began on October 30th, 1950, upon the orders of nationalist leader Albizu Campos. Uprisings occurred in various towns. The Free Republic of Puerto Rico was declared in Jayuya, and the nationalists attempted to assassinate Governor Luis Muñoz Marin and his residents. In response, the entire town of Jayuya was heavily damaged by the military. By the end of the local revolts, there were 28 dead and 49 wounded. The revolt was not limited to Puerto Rico. They included a plot to assassinate United States President Harry Truman in Washington, D.C. The last major attempt by the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party to draw world attention to Puerto Rico's colonial situation occurred on March 1st of 1954, when 4 nationalists attacked the United States House of Representatives and opened fire from the Congressional Gallery. After years of blood and struggle, the gag law was finally repealed in 1957. Let us know what you think in the comment section below.
My bad. This is what I was explaining to some people, why I use my flag all the time, because my flag represents the people that went to jail for 10 years, plus a $10,000 fine when they're living in poverty for 10 years for a flag, and especially as young as 8 years old. So people in life should always ask, because it's always, if people know how to communicate and understand why people do that. I don't be putting a flag all on my comments, emojis, to be like bragging or being a bigger thing. No, the flag is a signal as protest. And for me, it's about protest for the people that went to jail for 10 years for having the flag. And Puerto Rican, you need to learn about the history, Chulito.